You know how it goes. It's late. You've watched everything you wanted to watch. You're scrolling, not really looking for anything specific, and some random poster catches your eye. You think, alright, it's looking dope. Let's give it a watch. And then 2 hours later, you're sitting there, slightly stunned, thinking, why has nobody told me about this? That's this list. 10 thrillers I stumbled onto by complete accident. No word of mouth, no algorithm pushing them at me. Just me clicking something I wasn't sure about and coming out the other side genuinely impressed. Some of these have massive stars in them. Some of them were made for next to nothing. All of them are worth your evening. Let's go. Number 10. The Iceman.
Roses are red, violets are blue. My Annabelle is as golden as the light of the moon.
Michael Shannon plays Richard Kuklinski, a real man, a real hitman, who killed somewhere between 100 and 250 people over 3 decades, while his wife and 2 daughters had absolutely no idea. That's the film. That's the whole terrifying premise. And what Shannon does with it is extraordinary. He doesn't play Kuklinski as a monster. He plays him as a husband who coaches Little League and comes home for dinner and has a look in his eyes that something isn't quite right about. That stillness, that specific calm, the way a man looks when nothing touches him. The supporting cast is wild. Ray Liotta, Winona Ryder, and Chris Evans as a hitman who drives an ice cream truck. The script doesn't fully match Shannon's performance. Critics said that, and they weren't wrong, but Michael Shannon could make a grocery list feel like a threat. Here, playing a man who freezes bodies to confuse coroners and goes home to watch his daughters open Christmas presents, he is something else entirely. Based on a true story. After it ends, Google the real Kuklinski interviews. Good luck sleeping. Number 9. What You Wish For. Right. Do not watch the trailer for this one. I mean it. Close it immediately if it starts, because the trailer spoils the thing that makes this film work. And that thing is a reveal about 20 minutes in that completely changes what film you're watching. Nick Stahl plays Ryan, a chef drowning in gambling debt who flees to a friend's lavish villa in Latin America to lie low for a while. His friend Jack is living extraordinarily well, cooking private meals for the ultra-rich, no questions asked. Then, something happens, and Ryan finds himself stepping into Jack's life and discovering exactly what Jack was cooking. I watched this alone at midnight, and I actually said something out loud when the reveal landed. Not words exactly, more of a noise. It's been compared to The Menu, the class satire angle, the chef setting, but this is darker, quieter, and has none of The Menu's look how clever we are energy. It just unfolds. Calmly. Horribly. 81% on Rotten Tomatoes. Almost nobody's seen it. Go in blind. Whew, that's a request. Number 8. Fractured. This one's on Netflix, and it came and went without making much noise, which is a shame because it is exactly the kind of film that rewards you for not knowing anything about it going in.
There hasn't been a scan since 9 o'clock this morning.
So what are you telling me?
They're not here.
Sam Worthington plays Ray Monroe, a man driving home with his wife and daughter who stops at a gas station, has an accident, ends up in a hospital emergency room. His daughter gets taken for a scan. He falls asleep waiting, but when he wakes up, the hospital has no record that his wife or daughter was ever there. And then, the film lets you sit in that. Is the hospital hiding something? Is there a conspiracy? Is Ray losing his mind? Directed by Brad Anderson, the same man who made The Machinist, so yes, he knows his way around an unreliable narrator and a color palette that makes you feel subtly unwell. The twist is divisive. Some people clocked it early. But even if you do guess where it's going, watching it get there, watching Sam Worthington maintain this tight, desperate grip on his version of events while everything around him quietly contradicts it, that's worth the watch on its own. 90 minutes. Perfect thrilling ride. Number 7. Death Sentence.
Get down! You can do this.
James Wan directed this between Saw and Insidious, between two horror franchises, and made a revenge thriller that critics mostly dismissed and audiences mostly ignored, and which is, honestly, better than both of those things suggest. Kevin Bacon plays Nick Hume, insurance executive, nice house, 2 sons, a life that looks exactly like contentment. Then one of his sons gets murdered in a gang initiation, and the justice system offers 3 to 5 years. And Nick decides that's not enough. What Wan does here is not make a fantasy revenge movie. He makes an honest one. Nick is not suddenly a skilled fighter. He's terrified every step of the way. He makes mistakes, catastrophic ones. Every act of violence he commits pulls something else apart. Kevin Bacon gives everything in this. The descent of an ordinary man into something he can't come back from, that's the film. And it does not let him, or you, off easy. Number 6. Stay. Fair warning on this one, it is deliberately confusing. Not accidentally confusing, not a film that lost the plot and kept shooting, but confusing as a choice, on purpose, because the confusion is the point.
Did you ever hear of an artist named Tristan Revere?
Yeah, of course.
Do you like his work?
I've never seen it. Nobody has. He burned all his paintings before he killed himself.
He killed himself?
Mm-hmm.
Ewan McGregor plays a psychiatrist with a new patient, Ryan Gosling, who tells him calmly that he plans to execute himself on Saturday. And the doctor tries to find out why. And the world around him starts to behave oddly. Things that can't be in two places are. People who died keep appearing. The city starts folding in on itself. Mark Forster shot this like a dream that's trying to remember itself. Scenes don't cut. They bleed into each other. A staircase in one room becomes a staircase in another. Critics hated it, was a box office disaster, and now a cult film. What the film is actually about, and I'm not going to tell you, is something genuinely moving. Something about the final moments of a life, and the people who try to hold it in place. Ryan Gosling is a revelation. Ewan McGregor is exactly right. Go in patient, come out somewhere unexpected. Number 5. Forgotten.
그날 밤 이곳에서
Korean cinema does something with twists that Hollywood has basically given up trying to do. It doesn't just pull the rug, it pulls the rug and then the floor underneath it, and then you realize you were never standing where you thought. Jin Suk moves into a new house with his family. His older brother Yoo Suk is kidnapped one night. He comes back 19 days later. Different. Something wrong. Something he won't explain. And Jin Suk starts investigating what happened. Here's what I'll tell you. This film opens like a haunted house story. By the midpoint, it has become something else. By the third act, it has become something else again. And the final reveal, which I have watched 3 times now, hits differently each time because you realize how long the film was telling you the truth while letting you build the wrong story around it. The ending is tragic, genuinely. Not thriller tragic, actually sad. I sat with this one for a while. It's on Netflix. Just go and watch it. Right now! Number 4, The Lookout. This one is the definition of a film that deserved more. Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays Chris Pratt. Yes, same name, different person. A former hockey star whose life changed in one night. A car accident. A stupid decision. People are dead. And Chris is left with brain damage. Not unable to function, but struggling to sequence things. To put events in order, to remember what comes next. He writes everything in a notebook just to get through the day. He works nights, cleaning a bank, and someone figures out he could be useful. The bank heist in this film is almost secondary. What Scott Frank is actually making is a character study about a man trying to rebuild a self that got shattered, and how easy it is for someone with the right angle to use that rebuilding against him. Jeff Daniels plays his blind roommate and best friend and steals every scene without raising his voice once. The chemistry between them is warm in a way that makes what happens to both of them land harder. Criminally underseen. 87% on Rotten Tomatoes. Nobody talks about it. Start talking about it. Number 3, Brick.
This isn't good.
No.
Emily said words I didn't know. Tell me if they catch.
Brick? No.
Tug?
Tug might be a drink, like milk and vodka. Pin? You know the kingpin.
Dope runner, right?
Big time.
Ryan Johnson, the man who made Knives Out, made this film first for $450,000 in his own hometown of San Clemente, California, shot in 20 days, in the middle of a high school, and it is one of the most formally daring films of the 2000s. It's a full hard-boiled noir, Dashiell Hammett dialogue, femme fatales, drug kingpins, a lone detective investigating a murder, except all of it takes place in an American high school. The detective is a teenage loner. The drug kingpin operates from his mom's basement. She comes in halfway through an interrogation to offer orange juice. And it works. Completely. Brilliantly. Joseph Gordon-Levitt plays Brendan, a kid with the world-weary air of a man who has been doing this job for 40 years. And he is so committed to the tone that you stop finding it funny and start just believing it. The dialogue is dense, fast, and initially baffling. But if you lean into it rather than fight it, it starts to feel like its own language. Won the Special Jury Prize at Sundance, made back its budget 4 times over, and then kind of disappeared. Find it. It's unlike anything else. Number 2, Running Scared. I want you to picture the most frenetic, hyper-violent, color-saturated fairy tale set in a New Jersey crime world film you can imagine. Double it. Paul Walker plays Joey Gazelle, low-level mob guy, husband, father, who is supposed to dispose of a gun used to kill 2 corrupt cops. He hides it in his basement instead. The kid from next door finds it, uses it to shoot his abusive stepfather, runs off. And Joey has one night to get the gun back before the mob, the Russian mafia, the corrupt cops, and everyone else catches up. This film goes so far over the top that it circumnavigates the top and somehow finds its way back to something genuinely affecting. Wayne Kramer shot this with the same grimy palette. It just lands there, in the middle of a mob thriller, and you have to sit with it. Quentin Tarantino called Walker after watching it to tell him how much he loved it. Critics at the time gave it 41%. Audiences gave it a slow burn cult following that is still growing 20 years later. It came out in 2006. Almost nobody saw it. If you haven't, tonight. Just do it. Number 1, Coherence.
This is bad. This is really bad.
What's the box?
That was at the other house.
Oh my God.
Baby, what did you see?
Hugh, what did you see?
$50,000 budget, 5 nights of shooting in the director's living room, with actors who were given outlines of their characters, not scripts, and told to improvise. And what came out is one of the most unsettling science fiction thrillers of the past 30 years. 8 friends gather for a dinner party on the night a comet is passing close to the Earth. The lights go out. One house down the street still has power. 2 of them go to check it out. And what they find is... Look, I'm not going to tell you. Not a word. What I will tell you is this. The film is not about the comet. The comet is just the thing that makes visible what was already there. The tensions, the resentments, the choices people made and didn't make, the versions of their lives they picked, and all the other versions they quietly gave up. I found this on a random scroll at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. I finished it at 1 a.m. I lay in the dark for a bit, then I watched it again the next night. No other film on this list did that to me. That's why it's number 1. 10 films, all of them found by accident. All of them absolutely worth the stumble. Start with What You Wish For if you want something dark and fun. Start with Brick if you want something formally brilliant. Start with Coherence if you want something that will quietly rearrange the furniture in your head and leave you sitting in the dark thinking about your life choices. Drop a comment with any films you found by accident that turned out to be masterpieces. I'm always looking for the next one. Like the video, subscribe, and go find something you weren't looking for. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.